All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're tackling something that impacts literally everyone in modern business. We're talking about the massive tidal wave of transaction records, performance metrics, and logs that are being generated every single second. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Simply having all that data and actually understanding it, well, those are two completely different things. Think about the core challenge we're really facing here. Without a structured way to process it, raw data is essentially useless. To the human brain, billions of individual data points just look like static. It's just noise. And that leaves you incredibly vulnerable to totally avoidable manual bottlenecks. The sheer terror of that raw data is something we've absolutely all experienced. You know the feeling? Trying to crunch complex operational numbers by hand, taking hours of your day, and worse, just one single misplaced decimal point ruins the entire calculation. When we can't efficiently process our own information, we end up falling back on guesswork instead of mathematical certainty. And honestly, that becomes a massive vulnerability for any business. So how do we solve this? Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with surviving the data tsunami, then look at the analytics maturity framework. From there, we dive into descriptive analytics for decoding noise, predictive analytics for modeling futures, and prescriptive analytics using the solver. Finally, we'll wrap up with cultivating data-driven cultures. And the best part? The tools to pull all of this off are probably sitting right on your desktop right now. Okay, Section 1, the Analytics Maturity Framework, moving from hindsight to foresight. Picture this as a distinct staircase that an organization has to climb. Now, you might think you need some huge multi-million-dollar enterprise server to do this, but no way. Everyday spreadsheet software, like Excel, has quietly evolved into a seriously robust analytics engine. It's completely capable of driving organizations through all three critical stages of maturity: descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Moving right along to Section 2, descriptive analytics. Decoding noise. The entire goal of this first step, descriptive analytics, is simply to answer one basic question: what happened? To see just how accessible this is, take operations student Eva Ragland as an example. She discovered that tools like pivot tables effortlessly accomplish these core functions, allowing her to entirely bypass the rigid, nightmare formulas she used to rely on. You can summarize, group, sort, and analyze massive data sets in a flash. It's basically a dynamic engine. It takes rows of raw, chaotic noise and just collapses them down into a beautiful, clean, categorized matrix. You simply drag and drop your specific fields, and boom. The software dynamically builds an interactive report on the fly. It means stakeholders can instantly spot rising performance metrics, shifting geographic trends, or weird anomalies without ever writing a single line of code. That brings us to Section 3, predictive analytics, modeling futures. So, once you have that baseline clarity from summarizing the noise, you get to step up to the next level and answer, what comes next? This is where we map out historical data trends. By leveraging those baselines alongside built-in statistical functions, operations managers can actually proactively schedule production. It's a total shift from just reactively putting out supply chain fires after they've already started. Next up is Section 4, prescriptive analytics, the power of solver. Now we've reached the absolute apex of our staircase. This answers the big one. What exactly should we do? Eva Ragland's case study captures this perfectly. She was tasked with determining a monthly coffee bean order for a regional cafe, and instead of guessing, she used an optimization tool called a solver. It completely replaced hours of grueling math with definitive mathematical certainty. It figured out how to maximize profits and optimize the order in just seconds. Setting up this kind of optimization engine really just requires 4 logical steps. First, you define your objective, like, say, finding the most cost-effective purchasing plan. Next, you feed the tool your variables, such as fluctuating wholesale costs. Third, you set your hard constraints, maybe a strict maximum budget or a physical storage limit. And finally, the output. The software evaluates thousands of combinations in the background to generate the absolute best mathematical solution for you. When you balance those specific variables against strict constraints, you are literally removing human guesswork from the equation. The final output it gives you isn't just a friendly suggestion. It is a definitive, mathematically optimal plan of action, based entirely on your specific operational limits. How cool is that? Let's move into our final segment, Section 5, cultivating data-driven cultures and gaining macro-level control. Imagine scaling this up from a single cafe's coffee bean order to the macro-level operations of an entire organization. Everything changes. When we compare the old way to the new way, it's night and day. We're talking about trading hours of hand-cranked, grueling math for perfect solutions generated in seconds. We are swapping those awful, rigid formulas for highly intuitive interfaces and replacing siloed human error with strict, highly accessible mathematical accuracy. Operations experts will be the first to tell you that deploying these exact descriptive and prescriptive tools simultaneously allows you to build a true centralized control center. You can manage dynamic supply chains, track stock, manage overarching budgets, and monitor sweeping project milestones to ensure sprawling initiatives stay strictly on track. And again, it's all done from the accessible software already installed on your computer. Ultimately, these advanced analytics tools aren't just about calculating math a little bit faster. They exist to provide ultimate operational clarity. By letting these accessible engines handle all that computational heavy lifting, you directly elevate both individual professional capabilities and total organizational outcomes. You empower your people to reveal exactly what works, understand why it works, and know precisely what to do next. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to take a hard look at your own workflow. Ask yourself, how much time, profit, and accuracy are you sacrificing today just by relying on manual guesswork? This incredibly advanced analytics engine is literally hiding in plain sight on your desktop right now. The only question left is, are you ready to turn it on?